At the dawn of the 19th century, the vast territory we now call the United States was a patchwork of contrasts and simmering tensions. While the North was rapidly industrializing, with factories springing up and railroads connecting towns and cities, the South clung to an agrarian economy, relying heavily on enslaved labor for its cotton, tobacco, and rice plantations. This divide was more than just economic, it was cultural, social, and political. And it was only a matter of time before this rift became impossible to ignore. Can you imagine the tense atmosphere in northern cities like New York and Philadelphia, where newspapers were ablaze with debates about morality and progress, while in the South, in Charleston and Richmond, plantation owners defended their way of life with fierce determination? It was as if two entirely different countries had been carved from the same map. If you're curious about how these differences led to an epic confrontation, drop a comment now sharing what intrigues you most about this period. The division between North and South didn't happen overnight. It had been building for decades, marked by events that now seem almost prophetic. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 revealed deep fissures. Missouri would enter the Union as a slave state, but the North demanded limits on the expansion of slavery. Every political decision was a spark that could ignite a larger fire. And, indeed, that fire would eventually come. While the North embraced industrialization, its population surged, and new cities thrived with technologies transforming daily life. Railroads connected markets, factories churned out goods on an unprecedented scale, and free labor sought opportunity in an environment of growth and innovation. By 1860, the North was home to about 22 million people, almost double the population of the South. Every citizen, every worker, every immigrant arriving from Europe contributed to creating an economic powerhouse, yet a society that held values starkly different from the South. Meanwhile, the South clung to agriculture and slavery. Massive plantations required thousands of enslaved workers. Cotton, known as white gold, fueled export profits that enriched Southern families. By 1860, there were nearly 4 million enslaved people in the Southern states, lives bound in brutality and labor. These numbers are more than statistics, they represent human stories, moral dilemmas, and conflicts that shook the nation. If the scale of this system shocks you, share this video with someone interested in history. You won't believe the stories that come out of this era. Political tension mirrored every election, every congressional debate. Parties rose and fell, alliances were forged and broken, and leaders like Abraham Lincoln emerged with ideas that challenged the status quo. When Lincoln was elected president in 1860, without receiving a single Southern vote, the reaction was explosive. South Carolina seceded from the Union in December, followed by other Southern states forming the Confederacy. It was as if a stretched rope had finally snapped. And this is where the story becomes truly dramatic. If you're enjoying this so far, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this historical saga. The creation of the Confederate States of America marked the beginning of a confrontation no one could fully predict. Jefferson Davis was elected president of the Confederacy, and the capital was initially in Montgomery, Alabama, later moved to Richmond, Virginia. Every decision, every political and military maneuver, was charged with tension. The North, under Lincoln, faced the challenge of responding to this secession while balancing diplomacy, morality, and military strategy. Can you feel the suspense? Imagine living at that time, not knowing if your city would become a battlefield or if the economy would collapse overnight. Daily life also transformed dramatically. Families were split by invisible lines that suddenly became very real. Newspaper reports, rumors of battles, and troop movements spread through towns and villages. Thousands of young men were called to service, and every letter sent home carried fear and hope. If you've ever been moved by stories of courage and sacrifice, comment below on which personal account touches you the most. The North, leveraging its industrial might, began preparing for the looming conflict. Arsenals, railroads, supply chains, and military training became priorities. The South, though less industrially developed, relied on strategic advantages, knowledge of the land, passion for the cause, and determination to protect homes and plantations. Each side believed it was fighting for the future of its vision of America. This is where the tension is almost cinematic. No wonder this story continues to captivate people today. Meanwhile, the debate over slavery continued to inflame passions. Northern abolitionists grew louder, publishing newspapers, books, and pamphlets exposing the horrors of slavery. Figures like Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison became powerful voices, challenging the entire Southern social structure. This moral struggle was so intense it threatened to split not only the states but families and friendships as well. The economic contrast, moral dispute, political ambitions, and strategic geography created a scenario straight out of a thriller. Every decision carried unpredictable consequences. Each political and military move could change the fate of millions. And it all began with the seed of conflict between Union and Confederacy, the divorce that no political compromise could easily repair. If you're wondering how this division led to epic battles and the rise of historical heroes and villains, don't worry, the next chapters will dive into every event, strategy, and person who shaped this confrontation. But before that, comment below which city, leader, or battle you want to explore in detail, share this with friends who love history, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. The story is far from over, and every detail will surprise you. Ultimately, the story of Union and Confederacy isn't just about politics or economics. It's about human choices, courage, fear, and the fight to define a nation's future. Every decision made in that era shaped the United States in ways that still resonate today. If you love stories filled with tension, drama, and profound life lessons, you know what to do: like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the next chapters will grip you from start to finish.